here today, anytime I see you. I love you. So glad to be here. So last week, I talked about living in the yes. Because there's just so many opportunities to do things, to live, to go, to be. And the thing that we want to do as we're moving through our lives is say yes. Because there's so much that's going on. We could do this, we could do that, we could do the other. And Spirit isn't going to just jump in and go, well, I guess you want to do this one then. It's not going to do that. You have to say yes to your life, to the things that you want for sure. And then Spirit gets busy, bringing the how, the what, all the things that'll help that happen. But we begin by living in the yes, because that's all Spirit says to you. I want this, yes. I want to go there, yes. Let's do that, yeah. Let's go. Let's do that. And this week, I want to talk about the most joy. Because as we're thinking about all the possibilities and the things that we get to do, that we want to do, and I tell you, it gets to be busy. I was talking to Jim this morning when I got in the car, and he said, how you doing? I said, I'm tired. And he goes, that seems to be kind of your place right now. And I said, yeah, could be age. I have no idea. But I know I'm doing a lot of things, and what I know is that I'm not going to let tired stop me. I'm going to move forward because there's so much to do, and I don't know how much time I have, and I want to love the people that I love while I can, that they know I do. And so I'm just trying to think about what decisions to make with all the things that's possible in a day to do, in a week, in a month. How do you decide? What is it that you're going to do? Well, there's a couple of things. The most joy is the one. But it starts even before the most joy. It starts with what we talk about at the beginning of every year, with you determining who you are. What are your top 5, and I always talk about your top 5 values. And I call them, once you figure those out, I call them your daily road map, your DRM. When you figure out what your top 5 values are, then that's how you show up. You don't have to be thinking about it all the time. Whenever something comes up, you don't have to think about it. You know who you are. I know what matters to me. The first thing is always Spirit. I'm always talking to God about what's next, what are we doing? Be here with me now, so that I'm not talking crap, because I have a really good, easy time talking crap about everything. So easy. But I don't want to do that. I want to see the God in everything. I want to see the joy, the love. That's what I want. And so I connect with Spirit every day, every morning, to make sure that that's where my mind's at. That's where my head's at. That's where my heart's at. So God is number 1. Number 2 is courage. All right? Because you make these decisions, but it takes courage to step out and be you. When the rest of the world is saying, why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. But all the things that people think that they have a right to tell you about how you want to live your life. So it actually takes courage to live your life. And then from there, it goes on to family and friends and love. Unconditional love is big for me, because I believe that that's showing up as God. Showing other people that you believe that they're God. So once you know what your DRM, your daily roadmap, your top 5 values are, you know that's how you're going to show up. And I say order them. So you know what's the first thing. Well, what's the major thing you want to show up as every day? Every day. So then, when you have choices, and this came up because I am tired. There's a lot of things that I want to do, and there are people that I love and that I want to do things with. And certainly I have this business that I want to do, have this with you guys. I'm always thinking about what to bring here. And so there's always opportunities. The universe is abundant, all right? And so you say you want to do something, Spirit's got a whole bunch of, here you go, try all these. And you have to decide which one it is that you want to do, which one is worth your time and energy. And so I was thinking about it this weekend because I had a number of things that I wanted to do. My grandson is a great actor. He really is. And he's been mostly doing comedy because he's just a funny kid. So he naturally shows up doing comedy stuff. But this week he was doing a UIL competition. I don't even know what UIL is. They told me a million times. I don't know what it means.
Interscholastic League.
Say it again. University Interscholastic League. Thank you. I'm not going to remember that when I walk out the door, but good. You know what? I can look at it again every time now on this talk. So now I know what it is. Anyway, so they had a competition, and I wanted to go and see him in that. And he was doing drama. He was doing an Edgar Allan Poe thing. So, it was really dark and dramatic. And then I have a friend that lives in Waco, and we have made a pact with one another that we're going to see each other at least once quarterly. I'm going to make a trip. She can't drive anymore. So I'm going to make a trip and that happened to be, of course, on this weekend, because this is the end of the quarter. I have no other, and I'm going to do it every quarter. So now I'm going to go see him. I'm going to drive down and do that. And then I wanted to go to Rebecca's gallery night. I missed it last year. And she's a friend. And I really want to show up for her stuff. So it was a big weekend. And so what I thought about was, what brings me joy? I don't want to do things because I think it's, mine to do, or it's the right thing, or it makes other people happy. What brings me joy? Supporting my grandson, seeing him in the thing that he loves to do. That brings me joy. Going to see my girlfriend, she has been my friend for over 20 years. We had made plans to go and go do stuff. We're going to go to dinner. We're going to do all this, and we didn't go anywhere. We just sat, blah, blah, all night, and in the morning, we just blathered on because we were just so happy to see each other. And then I came back, and I was really tired, and the drive was long, and of course, it's always going down to Waco on a Friday night. Are you crazy? So, oh my God, so much traffic. And anyway, so when I came back, and I was tired, and I was trying to talk myself out of going to gallery night, I said, no, this is what you want. This brings you joy. So you don't have to stay long. Just show up. Just show up. And I'm so glad that I did. It was lovely. She has some great new pieces there, great new artists, and it was really a great thing. But my point is this. How do we determine what we're going to do with our lives, what we're going to do on a given day? Because there's so many choices. And I say, do what brings you the most joy. You don't have time for everything. You just won't. There's a whole bunch. The universe is abundant. There's a lot to always be doing. But this is your life. You have a right to enjoy it. So I think about what brings me the most joy. And I'm aware of that because I know what my values are. I know how I want to show up in the world. So I think about that and what's bringing me the most joy, combined with what my values are. Family is in there, friends, that's all in there. So it was an easy choice. And I don't have to be apologetic about things. I could, I'm not going to. I'm going to show up for these things because I'm going to go fully, completely myself, not dragging and carrying on. That's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do? That's what we get to do. It's to do what brings you the most joy. And once you know who you are and what values you have, and you do, we've been together a long time, so I know, even if you don't know, you're not going to tell me you don't know, because we've talked about this many times. So you already know that. I was talking with another friend of mine, and she was concerned about a person that was in her life, and just needing to let this person go. You know, you have people in your life that you've outgrown. They don't seem to want to grow. You do what you can do, but after a while, it's just not useful for either one of you. Still, how do you extract yourself from that in a loving way? And so we talked about that. And here's the thing, is that what brings you the most joy? It's no longer bringing me joy. This is the truth of it. You can't make that up. It's either joyful or it's not. And those people know that. If you're hanging around someone and you don't want to be there, you don't think they don't know you don't want to be there? So really, it's a waste of time for the both of you. It's a waste of time for the both of you. It's not bringing them joy, and it's not bringing you joy. So we have a right to look at our lives and say, you know what? That is a relationship that used to work. It's no longer working. Okay? Nobody's fault. We don't need to find blame. We're not looking for that. It's not the blame-shame game. It's just the what is and what isn't. What is and what isn't. We don't have to even define why it's no longer working. You don't have to worry about that. It just isn't. It just isn't, and it's okay. And as lovingly as we can, we just say, okay, we just no to that. And we don't actually have to offer any explanations. We don't have to explain ourselves. It just is. You do it in a loving way because you get to love yourself too, right? You get to love yourself too. And loving yourself means showing up wherever it brings the most joy with what is aligned with what you value in your life. And so that's all this is about. Living a great life. Living in the yes. Living and doing what brings you the most joy. Knowing who you are and showing up every day as best you can as who you say you are. Everybody already knows anyway. Who you are it's clear. You show up as this, it's clear. So you have the permission, give yourself permission to love yourself. To love you when you think about love, you have to put yourself in the picture too. Love yourself. So don't keep being I'm not a part of this idea of shaming myself. I'm not going to shame myself anymore. I'm not going to say, oh, well, you should have, you should be. It doesn't matter what should be happening. All that matters is what is happening. What is. And what is this is, and, it's interesting because we look at our lives and we understand you're a baby, then you're a toddler, you're a young kid, you're a preteen, you're a teen, you're a young adult, you're an adult, you're a middle-aged. We see all of those phases of life that we go through, and yet we think we can take everybody that was with us back then all the way through our lives. And we cannot. We cannot. First of all, because we are changing and growing and recognizing who we are and what matters to us, and so we're saying yes to things we hadn't said yes to before because we hadn't known about it. And not everyone can say yes to those things. And so, so then naturally, they're going to get left behind. We don't have to try to stay someplace we don't belong anymore. This is what we do. We feel guilty. Oh my gosh, we were so good. Yeah, you were good friends, and you want to honor that wonderful relationship. But that's over. It's okay. It's okay. We don't try to keep putting the sausage back in the case. Okay, can't do that. It's done. It's done, okay? So that's what this talk is about. The most joy. Ask yourself, whenever you're thinking about doing something, you're feeling like, I should be, take that word out of your vocabulary. There's no should. There's only do or do not. And the reason that you do or do not something is because it brings you joy. And when you are showing up as joy, do you know that if, I've talked about this a lot, the map of consciousness, the map of consciousness, you look it up, it's a great thing. And it talks about there's a level where your consciousness goes into the positive arena. So there's negative things like shame and guilt and all that's on the negative side of energy. And the positive side of energy starts at courage. And that makes perfect sense to me because it takes courage to claim yourself, to say yes to what you want to say and say, no, I'm not doing that. It takes courage to stand up for who you are and what you want to do. And so that it goes on up the map or up the ladder. And I would think that love, I think unconditional love is powerful. I've seen it change a situation, change a conversation, change a heart by just showing up as love. But joy is higher on the map of consciousness than love. It's love, then it's joy, then it's peace, and then it's enlightenment. Peace is just before enlightenment. So those are the things that we're looking to do to bring peace in our lives, joy in our lives, love in our lives. And enlightenment is the ultimate place that we're trying to get to. So live your life with the most joy. You have a right to do that. Figure out what brings you the most joy and live your life joyfully as you possibly can, loving others, loving yourself as you go, letting go of any of the negative shame, blame, guilt nonsense that doesn't do anything for anybody. And just live your great life because that's what we're here to do. God doesn't have us here to live a pitiful life. We're here to live an abundant and joyful life, a joyful life. That's all I want to share with you. Just have a great and joyful life.